Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our September Village Board meeting. If you could please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for coming out on this nice and rainy night, which we're happy to have, I think. We're starting at the top of our agenda this evening with our staff reports. Altamont Fire Department does not have a live report tonight because they are having a meeting as we sit here. So we'll move on to the building department. Pardon me, not building department. Let's see, police department, public works. Jeff, it's you. Sorry, I'm jumping right to you tonight.
That's fine. We finished our sidewalks up in the parks. Got a few odds and ends we got to do. Hit electrical wire, we've got to splice that and probably seed it shortly. It's getting to be that time. They've started their meter readings, that's underway. That's going to be going on for another 2 weeks. Our hydrant flushing will probably start either at the very end of this month or the beginning of next month, and we'll notify, same thing, notice goes out for Nixle. We'll try to put it on the board out here too. We're going to be working on patching the streets. We put that off because of the sidewalk project, so they'll be doing that. Working on our I&I. We worked on that today in the rain. The rain helps. Another big thing is EPA has come out and they've changed the lead and copper rule for drinking water nationwide. And all suppliers of public water have to develop an inventory of all the service lines from the main into each house. So we're going to have to visit each customer in our distribution system, make appointments, get inside, take a picture of their service line. They have a short form they have to fill out. They're also going to be looking at the ground system for their electrical service, because we've had problems in the past with improper grounding, and it's shut the copper up in their water. We're going to inspect, let's see, grounding and also the sewer connections. We've had a couple houses in the past where we found open lines where there's actually sewer gas coming up into the house, and they didn't know it. Each visit should only take 10 to 15 minutes, and we hope to finish our survey by next spring, but we've got until sometime in 2024 to finish the survey, and then we don't know what's going to happen, whether they're going to make us change certain lines or that's still out in.
I can say just a little side note, and correct me if I say anything wrong. Jeff and I met with engineers from Barton and LaJudas on this. They wanted to make sure we knew about these dates, and Jeff and Larry had already started this whole project beforehand. They thought we were in pretty good shape already, and there's going to be money made available for this. All the communities in the state have to do this. So we have to have this inventory first, right? That's how it starts.
We saw this coming about 6 months ago, so we got a good jump on it. And that's what Larry's been working on for the past 2 months. He's got his forms in place. He's got a chalkboard that he's going to bring with him, put right on the wall with a date, address, everything. Take a picture of it. It goes in a file. Every house is going to have a file. And it's just one of the things we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
Do we have like a letter or something we're going to send out to give people kind of a heads up?
Yeah, I've got a draft on my desk now. We'll put it in the paper and try to get as much information as we can out to the public.
Yeah, paper, Nixle on the website, probably three ways. That'd be great.
I don't envy you trying to make appointments with every person.
It's really tough just to get appointments for meter replacements, but it's one of those things we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
And did they give you a time frame for this again?
We have to have our inventory done by 2024, and it's still out as to, it looks like right now they're going to let us do a percentage of the ones that have to be replaced. But there again, it's mostly about the lead, and very few houses have complete lead lines, but a lot of them have galvanized. and they call it a lead gooseneck, where if there's a piece of lead that comes up off the main, goes down, and then they hook to the galvanized. And that's what our big concern is gonna be, is that gooseneck. And we're still waiting to find out.
But hopefully, doesn't some of this inventory for this project also help us with the I&I issues that we've been having? So
That's where we're looking at our sewer
that's why they're
connections
doing
and-
all that too. So it will help with two different things that we
Yeah.
have to really get a hold of.
Yeah.
All right,
And a lot of people don't know, you know,
Sure.
they buy their house, they move in, and
Yeah.
they just don't know. And like I said, we've had problems in the past with grounding too, where there hasn't been properly grounded, so there's electrical current going back through the copper pipes, and it breaks down some of the copper that goes into the water. We've had a couple hits on that over the years, and traced it back to improper grounding.
Interesting.
That's it.
anything else? That's it?
That's enough.
Can I ask one question, which everybody asks every year, so I figure I'd ask it again? Leaf pickup begins usually early October?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about that the first meeting in October,
Yeah,
probably?
and probably, we normally flush about that same time too.
Okay, sure.
But if we can, since we skipped our first flush program at the beginning of spring because of our problems with the well,
Yep.
we may try to start a little early. We'll have to see what's going on, see how our water supply is.
Well, I can tell you, and to relate to, our whole crew, that I think you got a copy of the email. We have gotten some emails about the wonderful work on the sidewalks that they did in Orsini Park, because they're amazing. It'll look even better, next spring when we have grass, it'll even look
Yeah.
better, but they did a super job. And most municipalities don't do their own sidewalks. We do that to save money. They do a phenomenal job, all of them together. It looks great.
Yeah.
It'll be good for so many years to come, I think, so excited about it.
It's one of those things we put off because it's gonna, it disrupted the schedule for everybody in
It
the park.
does, yeah.
but it
Yeah,
worked
we
out
had
good.
plans, but eventually we got there.
Yeah, it
It
worked
looks
out
really
good.
nice.
It does.
Yeah.
It just did a great job.
Good.
So,
I'll pass
yeah.
it along.
Yeah, pass it along.
Definitely.
All right, well, thanks.
I have one
Oh,
question.
Oh, sorry.
Any update from B&L on the water treatment?
They just came and took a second round of sampling last Wednesday, and we're still waiting.
So what the results are from these samples is gonna depend on what they do? or-
About
Or like
the
scale?
kind of treatment that we're gonna use.
Okay.
What we've been finding, because we've been doing our own study in-house, and we find that we have a high manganese and iron reading at the wells, but by the time we treat it and it goes out into the system, it drops way, way down. And I think B&L's working on that to try to find out, what's causing that, and see if we can implement that to hopefully save some money in a big treatment system.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, it
But-
seems like what we were trying is working, so
Yeah.
that's good.
There was a holdup on the first row, or first series of sampling, because the lab couldn't get the right chemicals. It took a month to get the chemicals to do the test,
right.
just like everything else.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably a back order.
Have anything else? Questions for
No.
Jeff? I think we're
sir.
good. Thanks so
Okay,
much.
thanks.
Appreciate it. I'm going to move just to the treasurer's point, part of this. We had a chance to view the abstract for the month. Could I have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
John is first, and second?
I guess I'll second.
You really have no choice. And roll call, please.
Trustee Farrow?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Sorry, my pen just died, so moving on to, we're going to go down to public comment first, and what I'm going to ask folks, if you have something you'd like to share with the board, come on up and just tell us your name and what you'd like to share. If it has something to do with item number 1 on the agenda, could you just hold off until item number 1, and we'll put that all together, if that's okay? Is there anything for public comment other than that? Oh, come on up. There
Hi,
you go.
I'm Edna Litton. I live at the corner of Main Street and Lark Street in the Village. And I'm sorry I haven't gotten organized to write you people a letter about this, but I want to let you know that I think it would really benefit the village in the long run if there were money included in every year's budget for planting trees.
Okay.
And, one of the things, you look at Maple Avenue, and there are the pictures of it, before the road was widened, back, in the 1950s. There was maple trees meeting over the street, and now it's just bleak. And I thought if they had planted just one tree a year from then to now, how different it would look. And there have been studies showing that, aside from making a place more attractive, having trees makes it cooler. And as we're getting hotter summers, that will be appreciated.
True.
So I hope you can do that.
Yeah, it's something that we can look at. I know when they did the road construction, we lost, anything we have to plant on is private property, I believe, because of the part we have to leave open for snow storage and things like that in some spots.
Yeah.
With the state. So we'd have to figure out if there's a way we could do a program or something to invest for those who might want a tree here, you know what I mean, like a rotation or something. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how it would look, but we could try something like that.
Yeah, I think, homeowners would welcome it.
Oh,
And,
sure, yeah.
And where my daughter lives, in Alexandria, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
there's a program where homeowners can buy trees kind of at wholesale cost.
Yeah, and we could probably do some, we have some accounts on a wholesaler that we use for our parks right now.
Yeah.
So it might be something we can talk about and see if we can budget it next year.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks so much. Go back to my thing here. Anybody else for just regular public comment? Okay. I'm going to move down to item number 1 on the agenda, which is discussion on New York Forward Grant Program. I don't know if you want me or you're here, so you're my lead New York Forward person, but
Yeah, so I
Welcome to
guess
jump in.
I'll proceed assuming that not everybody's up and informed on this, but essentially, last board meeting, we passed the resolution to sign a letter of intent to apply for a program called New York Forward. It's a New York State grant opportunity out of the Department of State division or department, I guess. And basically what it is it's a targeted effort to invest in rural and smaller communities. So they already have a program called the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which they've done for a couple of years now, which has helped kind of larger urban areas. So I think Troy won one in the capital region. And so they got, however many millions of dollars to beautify their downtown. And so this year they added the New York Forward component, which is for specifically smaller villages or even unincorporated kind of rural gathering areas. So we saw that, and I remember I talked to Carrie real quick, like, man, I wish we could get something together and apply for this, and we decided to try to put something together, even though they didn't give a whole lot of notice. The way it works is there are 10 regional economic development councils for New York State, and each council will be awarding 2 to 3 winners, I guess, in their area. So we're in the capital region, obviously. So the nice thing is there will be at least 2 or 3 winners from our region from this program. I have no idea what other municipalities might be competing,
Applying,
but again, there wasn't a whole lot of time, so
they gave us
Like
like
to
a
think-
week, I think. I think there was like a week that you had to get your
yeah,
stuff
so
in. Yeah.
hopefully, maybe it's not very competitive, and we'll luck out. But the overall gist is to invigorate and enliven downtowns in New York's smaller communities, things like villages, hamlets, other small municipal centers. So we submitted that letter of intent to apply. That opened up some like office hours and resources for filling out the actual application, which is due later this month. One of the key components is to get public feedback, so we're trying in a couple of different ways to get feedback on the ideas that we'd like to put into the grant proposal. So Carrie put out a survey, a Google form survey that's going out through Nixle. It's posted on our website. We have created a smaller website on our website, or sub-website.
We've gotten some
subsection.
emails that have come in as well.
Yep, we've got some
Yep.
emails people can submit, and then the purpose of talking about it right now is we wanted to give people who wanted to come and talk in person to give us their feedback. I will note that we don't have a formal plan yet, so right now we're trying to solicit ideas, but the gist or the scope or the limits, I guess, that we're placing on the proposal is to try to improve or beautify the area of Main Street between, say, Altamont Boulevard and Gun Club Road. That's kind of what we chose to define our downtown. The reason for that is we felt that that would include the public library. It includes the not Schilling Park, Orsini
Orsini
Park,
Park.
Angel Park, as well as a lot of the historical homes along Main Street, and then extends, covers, and includes this area, so Village Hall, the community room here,
Crown's House
and then,
area, too.
what's that?
Crowd's House area,
And all the way
too.
down
Yeah.
to the Crown, or what was the Crown's House. So it gives us the ability to initiate projects in that physical scope. Again, it's supposed to be things that improve the public's use and access to facilities around here. So we had some ideas, but we really wanted to hear what the community was interested in. I haven't looked at the survey results except for like maybe 3 days after you sent it out. I know lots of interest
They've
in
been
sidewalks.
lots of interest, yeah. There's things like infrastructure it cannot be used for. There's certain things it can't be used for, and I think the webinars were good, but we actually had a chance to meet with them in person, well, not in person, I'm sorry, live on a meeting, and get some guidance from the people who are helping the state with this, and which I thought was excellent. Tell us how we fill out our application and what are some of the things you want to stress. But infrastructure is not something, there's a few things you can't use it for, but it's basically one or bigger project by lots of, when I say smaller project, they can still be substantial, like a pedestrian bridge or enhanced, like pedestrian safety measures, things like that. There's things you can do that way. So signage, things, I don't know, bike racks, all that kind of thing. So it's a lot of different ideas have been coming in. Some I never had thought about, and some are there's a lot in common, which is great. Some of them are in common with the list that we came up with, along with a committee of about, I don't know, 6 or 7 of us, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to stress, like, intentionally, I didn't put out the list of ideas that Carrie and I and the committee came up with, because we wanted to see what other people came up with, but I imagine by the end of this week, I will update the website and probably send another nixle of a draft list of projects that we've heard from people, and then do another cycle of soliciting feedback from folks based on that list, again, based on surveys and emails and things that the committees come up with and whatever we hear about here. Again, there's not a whole lot of time between now and when the submission is due, so I get the feeling that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend.
We
is
could
some
put out
writing.
the survey next week, and maybe we can talk with the committee sometime
Yeah.
before that,
But in
just-
terms of like for the public, again, in the next week, look
Yeah.
for an updated list, and that's kind of where we really need feedback. Not just on the projects, but there's also a vision statement that is supposed to guide the project. So whatever this vision statement is, all the projects are supposed to support what that vision statement is. Currently, I pulled from the most recent comprehensive plan, and using that kind of as the basis for a vision statement. And that's the other part that we would solicit feedback on is, does that make sense? Is that still accurate? Not trying to redo the comprehensive plan at this moment, but that's the closest thing that I think we have for a vision for what our community is supposed to be.
And I like the vision statement on there. I actually think,
Yeah.
so
out
feedback
well.
on it's great, but it worked out nicely, yeah. It's done well. So, do you want to, is there any more that we want to?
I think I talked enough.
No, you talked enough? So, if you came to, share any additional feedback, or you had other ideas that you've thought of, please come up and share those with us. We'd love to hear them. We'll include them in our list,
And if not, the website, you can submit emails that way. There's a form
Or the
there.
survey if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. That's true. It's still open. It's not closed at all. I imagine we'll probably look to close it, what you said, like this weekend, just that one anyway.
Yeah, close that
Yep.
one and we'll put a new one
Right,
together.
yeah. Okay, everybody likes everything the way it is. No ideas? Okay. Well, you can contact us anytime and send something in. If you have an email thought, someday, just send it to one of us, Nick or I, or John, doesn't matter who. We'll get it out there. So we'll keep moving forward with that and let everybody know through Nixle on the website what comes next. And move on then, if that's okay with you guys? All right.
Sounds good.
To item number 2, consider request for village water for a single-family dwelling at 6569 Dunsville Road, Guilderland, tax map 37.00-1-27.120, per request of Justin Mullen. Capital charge for the new service connection to water is $3,000. Jeffrey Moeller, Superintendent of Public Works, has reviewed the application and recommended this connection. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Nick, and second?
I'll second it.
John, and roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Item 3 is consider authorizing Mayor Denine to sign proposal task order for engineering service not to exceed $8,000 with Barton and LaJudas Engineering for Fairview Avenue sidewalks. This is not additional money, doesn't have any budget impact from our budget. This is the $8,000 that has been put into our grant application. We were awarded $125,000 for both Lark and Fairview. And this was the engineering costs that were put in for that grant. So we're just approving that. It will be paid by the grant. So can I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
John is first and second.
I'll second.
Nick. And roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Item 4, consider hiring Wade Bush, Altamont, as part-time water and wastewater treatment plant operator and laborer at $25 per hour. Wade has, we snatched him up now and feel so excited about this, actually. Wade has been an operator for the town of Gilderland for so many years, and we will be able to use his expertise and then meet our certification requirements as well at the same time, and it's wonderful, and so thank you for applying. We're
I started here in 1984,
say,
in
like,
the village.
and it all comes full circle, Wade.
Now, here I am again. I've been working till 84 of this century, I guess.
There you go. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Was that Nick? Yes,
it
Nick.
was.
And second was?
second it.
John. And roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. So welcome and again, and nice to have you here. Thanks, Wade.
Hopefully some of the stuff has been upgraded since then.
Yes, hopefully we're a little more upgraded than 1984 by now.
Yeah, I used to stand on the back of a truck salting.
Oh, we don't have to do that anymore. It's good.
That's where we headed through.
Oh, my goodness.
I figured when I left Norwich, that was quite antiquated there, and I came, it was worse here. I'm just kidding. But, we used to stand on the back and salt in the wintertime, remember that?
Oh, my gosh. Well, glad we don't have to do that anymore. We've years ahead on that.
Yeah.
Item 6 on our agenda, consider authorizing Mayor Denine to sign RBC Wealth Management letter authorizing RBC Wealth Management to issue 2021 Service Award one-time payments of $700 to Dave Cowan, William Ernst, and Mark Huggins, and Thomas Person, AFD members.
Sorry, I know you did a good job, but
What'd I
let's skip
do?
number 5.
I am sorry about that. Is it okay if I do number 6 first? Okay, I'll go back.
Sure.
I mean, you just did all that reading, so
Let's do number 6
Yeah.
first. Let's go at it. Let's live a little.
I'll make that motion.
So Nick made the motion on number 6. I apologize. And
I'll second it.
John is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor.
Now number
I
That was
will
a
go
long
back
one,
to
too.
item 5 now. Apologize about that. Consider authorizing Mayor Denine to sign Albany County intermunicipal agreement and memorandum of understanding to continue an existing coalition for cooperation on issues related to stormwater management. Effective date is January 1st, 2023 through December 2027, per recommendation of Jeff Mueller, Superintendent of Public Works. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
John?
I will second that.
And he will second it. Roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. I'm going to move to item number 7. Consider request of Altamont Fire Department to participate in the following events: 9/11 Memorial Ceremony on September 11th and Comedy Night on November 5th, per request of Paul Miller, Chief. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Nick, and second?
I'll second it.
John? And roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Consider request of, to dispose of records according to the New York State Retention and Disposition Schedule for New York Local Government Records 2020, as recommended by Kelly Best, Administrative Assistant. List of records on the attached document. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
John, and second,
I'll second.
Nick, and roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor?
Mayor Denine?
In favor. I'm going to add, before we get to the minutes, I'm going to add kind of an 8.5. We had to add a resolution tonight. So we're having some work, as you might be seeing on the front, fixing the issues with the facade on the fire hall and the falling bricks. What they have discovered, although we had some ties in certain areas, as they look to one part higher, we have where the bricks weren't tied in properly back when, and they're starting to fall as they do this, and they've noticed a huge crack. So we want to extend the work that we're doing out there, and it's going to cost about $4,800, give or take some change. So we needed to add that tonight so they can, while we have them here, have them continue to do that. So.
Because that is also holding up all the other work.
It is
They
holding
can't
up,
do the other stuff
we
until
can't,
the other
yes,
stuff.
exactly. So work is waiting on that to be done, so we can actually finish that. And so the resolution I wrote out for this is to consider authorization to expend up to $5,000 from the general fund reserve, subject to permissive referendum, for repairs of the firehouse veneer area by AJS Masonry LLC. Can I have a motion to accept?
I will make that motion.
Nick, and second?
I'll second it.
John, and roll call, please.
Trustee Farrakhan?
In favor.
Trustee Scally?
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. So I'm going to go back to, let's see, item 9, consider approval of board minutes for July 19th and July 26th, 2022. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
John, and
I'll
second.
second.
Nick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All in. And before I go to item 10, does anybody on the board have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
I'd like to thank people for coming down to the Scottish Games this past weekend. It was a pretty successful event. A lot of pipe bands, a lot of athletics, island dancing, solo piping, solo drumming. It was a well-received event, and thank you very much.
That was some of the best weather I've experienced there. I had a great time. I thought it was really a great day for it this year. And the
Yeah.
crowd was huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was huge, yeah. So, a lot of fun. Well done, 'cause I saw you, but I saw you when you were playing, so
We were marching in.
I saw you. Yeah, I didn't want to yell to you, I thought. But well done. That was great.
One thing
Oh,
I'll just
yeah, go
reiterate
ahead.
is, again, we mentioned before the 9/11 ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
Folks are available Sunday, around 8:30. People usually start gathering outside across the street from the firehouse for the 9/11 ceremony. So if you're around, please join us.
And if you've never been, it's pretty impressive. They do a great job with that, the fire department, so.
It starts, was it 8:49 or something, whenever the first tower hits? but
Right, so
Get around 8:30.
people come at
8:40.
8:30, maybe 8:49 it starts. Yeah,
You want to get a good spot to stand and see.
definitely.
All right, thanks.
Okay, consider motion to adjourn, item 10. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
John, second is?
I'll second.
Nick, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next scheduled meeting is October 4th at 7 PM. Thank you for coming out, and have a great night.
Thank you.